When you're home shopping, the main focus is usually the home itself. Does it have a basement, fenced yard? But equally important is the neighborhood. There has actually been scientific studies on what neighborhood characteristics are associated with happiness. So we're going to talk about that, what those are, a few other things to look for when you're considering moving to a new area, and where to find the information you need. And by the way, our contact information is in the description below. And if you find this information helpful, consider subscribing. We do a new video every week. So these are the neighborhood characteristics associated with happiness, according to the Journal of Economic Psychology. Number 1, commuting time. You know, it's easy to say, wow, I love this home, so I can drive an extra 30 minutes. But over time, that can get tiring. So according to the Journal of Economic Psychology, a long commute has a strong effect on happiness. You can easily determine how long of a commute you'll have by using Google Maps. Just type in the address of the home you like and the address of your commute location, and it'll tell you. And now that telecommuting is more available, there should be a lot more happy people around here. They can live where they want with no commute or just a couple days a week. The second characteristic, neighborhoods with access to green space and natural environments tend to be associated with higher levels of happiness. So according to this study, it's pretty important to have access to green areas, parks, undeveloped open areas, and we certainly have a lot of that in West Virginia. You can get an idea of how close you'll be to green areas by, again, just looking at Google Maps or Google Earth. And then, of course, take note of that when you are previewing a home. Number 3, safety. That's pretty obvious. Feeling safe where you live is very important to well-being. And it's important to check that out. So visit the neighborhood in the evening, see who's walking around. You can call the local police department. There's also a website, crimegrade.org, that rates different areas based on reported incidents of crime. So it's a color-coded map, so you can zoom in on the subdivisions, see how it's rated. Green has a high safety rating. Dark green is the highest. And then there's lighter shades of green to indicate different levels. Red has a very low safety rating. And we're pretty green here in all 3 counties. There are a few spots, of course, that are not green, but they're just light red. There's no dark red spots here. If you look at Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, you see a lot of dark red. Number 4, proximity to amenities. Neighborhoods that are located near amenities, such as shops, restaurants, tend to be associated with higher levels of happiness, according to the Journal of Economic Psychology. You know, I don't know that my husband would agree with that. You know, a common thread I've seen, and I hope I'm not sounding like I'm typecasting, but often the guy wants to live closer to the wilderness and the wife doesn't want to have to drive miles for groceries or social contact. And I'm sorry that sounds maybe typecasting, but it is kind of a common thread. So the amenities thing may just depend on who you ask. Number 5, and this kind of surprised me, neighborhood income levels, but it kind of makes sense. If neighbors are lots richer than you are, that can, according to that study, make you less happy. So really, stretching things to live in an upscale neighborhood that you can barely afford is a negative for well-being. Not only because of the stress of not barely being able to cover expenses, but also, I guess, watching neighbors buy fancy cars, etc., when you're house poor. And that can be depressing for some people. Also, there may not be as much social cohesion or sense of community in those situations, which is another factor in determining happiness. So, buying in a neighborhood that is affordable with neighbors at a similar economic level is associated with a higher sense of well-being. So summing all this up, according to these studies, it seems that neighborhood characteristics associated with happiness are convenience, safety, affordability, and part of or close to a natural green environment. And that probably does fit a lot of people, but not everyone. Different strokes for different folks. If you're looking to move to the Eastern Panhandle, we'd love to help you out with that, help you find a place that fits what makes you happy. So call us, let us know what that is, and we'll get to work. There's a video over there on living and retiring in West Virginia. So if you have some time, check that out. And I thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.